Traffic Report, I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, partly sunny, high near 83. Tonight, patchy fog, mostly cloudy, low near 56. Thursday, patchy fog, mostly sunny, high near 78. Thursday night, mostly clear, low near 56. Friday, sunny, high near 81. Friday night, mostly clear, low near 60. Saturday, sunny, high near 86. Saturday night, mostly clear, low near 60. Sunny on Sunday with a high near 82. Sunday night, partly cloudy, low near 57. Monday, chance of showers, mostly sunny, high near 71. Monday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a low near 48. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
This is KCAA.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This
Welcome back. Good morning. Glad that you're with us again. This is Erin Brinker.
And I'm back. I'm Tobin Brinker.
Shut up. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. I feel like I'm still here, like I was here all day yesterday. You know, it's just my favorite place to be.
It is. It's a fun place to start your day, right here on KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Yes. I got to say good morning to Brandon. How you doing?
Good morning. I had a hectic morning, but I'm doing real well.
Good. Why is it hectic? Traffic?
No, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. I'm guessing he overslept.
No.
No? Okay. Hope it's something good. Anyway, lots of stuff to talk about today here on this morning show. God, I need
Wednesday.
some coffee. It's Wednesday.
Hump day.
Hump day. That's right. So, first of all, I have to open up with kind of this Black Friday revolt trend. And I should say Black Thursday revolt trend.
Yes.
So it started out, and from what I saw, it started out with REI. REI has this hashtag opt outside. They want people on Black Friday. They're not opening their stores on Black Friday, which is, really risky for a retailer to do, because they call it Black Friday because they're in the black on that Friday.
Yep.
And that's when large sales are made. But what REI is saying is, no, we're going to pay our employees. We're going to pay our employees to be outdoors because that's who we are. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely love REI. It's one of my favorite stores. I bought my hiking boots there. I love them. We've bought backpacks and other gear
Yes, we have.
at REI, and we just love it. So hashtag opt outside, and you can go to Instagram, find them, go to their website and find things to download to declare that you're not shopping on Black Friday, that you're going to be outside. And so I love that. I posted that and I love that. And then DSW has announced, this is their quote, "This holiday season, you've probably seen or read about all the retailers opening their doors as early as 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. We have decided not to follow that trend. Instead, we believe family comes first, and you should be at home celebrating with them on this special holiday. This means none of our stores will be open on Thanksgiving Day. In addition, no stores will be open before 7 a.m. on Black Friday." And that quote is from Michael R. McDonald, DSW Shoes CEO. And I posted that on my Facebook page, and so far have 341 likes and lots of comments, and people are just saying thank God, because this first it was getting like 2 a.m, or 5 a.m, 4 a.m, 3 a.m. Now stores are opening on Thursday to go shopping. The holiday is about giving thanks for what you have, not killing each other to get something that you want.
Exactly. It's interesting that the way our economy is built with the need for retail, right? I mean, we've heard over and over again that part of the reason the recession has sort of dragged, we've not really had this strong recovery, is because people have kind of stopped buying. And what happened in the meantime is it seemed like retailers got desperate, right? And they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like the 48-hour sale where they're open 2 nights in a row all night long, and
yes,
but people weren't going for that stuff. And I think this trend of saying, you know what, it's not about selling every minute of the day, it's about having a quality of life, is going to resonate with people. And I bet you what you're going to find is people were more likely to go to those places later or earlier and shop and buy things, just because they're reestablishing a sense of normalcy.
It used to be the Black Friday for people who like to shop, and I don't. I buy online, or I go into places that, like DSW, only sells shoes. I know I'm going to get shoes at DSW, so I'm get in there, get what I want, get out.
Yes.
And but people who really love to shop, Black Friday was it was a tradition. They'd get up, so the stores opened at 6 or 7. They'd get there, and they'd wait in line. But now, for the last several years, we have images of people beating each other up at Walmart, trampling each other to death. All this craziness over shopping.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And I just love that these guys are saying that we're going to return to what was the old normal, which is that people have time with their families. I like stores like, what's the restaurant chain, Chick-fil-A, that's not open on Sundays?
Yes.
It's a throwback to a different era. It used to be that nothing was open on Sundays. And on weekends they always had shorter hours. And this was just considered normal because people had lives.
Right. Well, and in Europe, this is an American phenomenon.
Yeah.
And it's pushed out to other cultures as well. But this American phenomenon that things are open at ridiculous, crazy hours. And I think there is a market, there is a place for stores that are open all night. There are, but it shouldn't be every store.
Yep.
And it shouldn't be I don't know. There needs to be some sort of sanity in our retail environment.
20 years ago, when you were pregnant with our first child, our son, the only place that was open all night long was a little drugstore in Rialto. And that's not Rialto, excuse me, Redlands.
In Redlands.
And that's where I would have to go if we needed something in the middle of the night. And with little babies and things like that, that was something that happened. But nowadays there's a ton of places you can go. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different Walmarts and other places that are doing the 24 hours.
Right.
And a lot of fast food chains that are at least open late, or have at least their drive-throughs open 24 hours. I mean, Denny's 24 hours. I mean, there's just a lot of places that do that now.
There are people who work nights, and so like when you were working nights, at 2:00 in the morning when it was time for lunch, or 3:00 in the morning, you would go through a Del Taco drive-through. You would.
I would. No, I know. And so there is a place for it, but it seems to me that today there's just a lot more places that are doing that, and I don't know that it's healthy. I think because there are people who, and I'll say it like this, they're addicted to shopping.
Yes.
They're addicted to shopping, and it feeds them, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's legitimate shopping addiction.
Yeah.
And I hope that this Black Friday comes and goes without anybody getting trampled or beaten or some of the craziness that we've seen in years past, where Walmart opens their doors and people kill each other to get to the TV set or the radio or whatever, not radio, but whatever gear they are looking for.
Exactly.
I'm not. Tobin and I are generally not driven by stuff.
We're not.
So I don't understand that mentality. I really don't understand it.
No, we're driven by experiences. We like to go do things. I'd much rather have the memory of having done something or been somewhere than actually owning a thing.
Exactly. So, lots of other really great stories. Oh, you know what? I didn't ask Brandon his opinion. What do you think about all this?
So, I've actually never been Black Friday shopping.
You've never done that?
So, I'm curious what it's like, but it sounds awful. So, I've never gone.
Well, for people who love shopping, they think it's great. The energy, whatever. I mean, they think it's great.
And the deals. I mean, my friends are always talking about, they always pick out that one big ticket item that's, like ridiculously slashed prices.
Yeah.
That they're going to wait in line for 48 hours to be the first one in the door to get the
that,
flat screen
$250 flat screen TV. Would you do that? Would you wait in line for a nice TV?
So I'm a huge nerd, and I've noticed that the TVs that they usually slash in half are the worst TVs that you can buy.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
But you're getting a deal, man.
But it's a product they can't otherwise move.
They're the TVs that they can't sell anyways.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. Our TV's ancient. It's 20-something years old. So
can't beat free.
Yeah, it was a hand-me-down. So.
Can't beat free.
I don't know. So are you going to go just to people watch this year, you think?
No, I mean, it's something I've never done, and I don't know, it just doesn't have appeal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Besides, you can find great deals online. You can find you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn and fight the crowds, literally fight the crowds to get good deals on things.
That's the other thing about this all day long shopping. You can shop online now. So why do we have these stores that are open so late? Because I can shop from the comfort of my own home.
Yep, exactly. Well, it's 6:15. It's time for a break. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We've got Brandon McCormick in the booth. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
Go ahead and say it. We're all ears. KCAA.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, or check out the savings and place your order online. VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
Easter Seals provides life-changing services to kids and adults with disabilities in the Inland Empire. This month, when you visit a Baker's drive-thru restaurant, be sure to buy a Safe Halloween coupon booklet for $1. 100% of the dollar you spend goes to support Easter Seals disability services, preschool and daycare for kids, independent living, work and social skills for adults. Your dollar can make a difference. Learn more at easterseals.com/Southern Cal.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
We found the problem with your car. Turns out the carburetor differential modulator is out.
What?
And while we were digging around in there, this thing fell off.
Stop. There's no automotive repair nightmares at Diego Martinez's 5-Star Automotive in San Bernardino. 5-Star Automotive, where you'll get a great experience, and home of the $15.99 oil change. That's right, just $15.99. They specialize in transmissions, brake repair, AC, and many other repairs, all with a lifetime warranty on parts and labor. Diego knows when your auto needs 5-star attention, it's never convenient. He offers a 12-month interest-free auto repair loan on major auto repairs with no money down. He'll even throw in free towing and a 10% discount for his neighbors in the 909 who work for the city and county of San Bernardino. Call 909-387-0770. That's 387-0770. Your neighbors at 909 West 2nd Street in San Bernardino.
Hi, this is Steve Alladort from Rancho Financial with the Mortgage Minute. With property values increasing, this might be the perfect time to do a loan checkup to see if it makes sense to refinance. Do you have an equity line? If your equity line is getting close to 10 years old, your payment is about to fully amortize. Coupled with the certainty that the feds will soon increase short-term rates, there might be a substantial jump in payment on your line of credit. If we combine your current loan, equity line, and possibly even some of your credit debt, there could be a substantial reduction in what you have to pay each month. Do you have VA eligibility? VA will allow 100% cash-out financing. This may be a perfect time to use your eligibility. We can go 85% cash out with FHA or 80% with a standard conventional loan. There are many possible options that could make a huge difference in your monthly payments. That's why you need a loan financial planner to provide you with all of your possible options. Give me a call, Steve Alladort, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070, or go to loanfinancialplanner.com.
The most diversified radio station on the dial, KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We've got Brenda McCormick in the booth. There's an article in Vox.com about the school-to-prison pipeline.
Yeah, this is becoming a very interesting topic right now in education circles, and we are really re-examining and reevaluating what we've been doing with an eye to the fact that a lot of what we've been doing doesn't really work. And there was actually a news story that popped up yesterday or the day before that really has got people kind of shaken. And I don't know if you've seen the video of this or not, but
I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch it.
Yeah, it's quick. It's a short video, but it's quite brutal. It shows a young African-American girl sitting at her desk. A school police officer has come into the classroom, is demanding that she get up from the seat, and she is essentially passively just sort of sitting there when he grabs her about the neck area, knocks the desk over, and then throws her like a little rag doll across the room. And this guy is probably, 250, 300 pounds, and it's a skinny little girl. And then you hear him saying, now put your hands behind your back, and and as he puts the cuffs on, you can't really see at that point because she's obscured behind the teacher's desk. But it's quite brutal, and the young girl happens to be African American, and the officer happens to be white. And, this is problematic. It's problematic. And so this article in Vox really is looking at the bigger picture, but it starts with that story. So let me give you some of what the article says, and then I want to just have a quick discussion about it because I think it's worthy of our time. When a student at Spring Valley High School, South Carolina, captured a cell phone video of a police officer flipping over a student and her desk, then throwing the student across the room, the video quickly got national attention. People are alarmed that a police officer in a school would do that to a teenager who didn't pose a threat.
And I want to stop you right there. We don't know anything about this teenager, but if she grew up in an environment that's at all abusive, what you learn is you don't want to make your abuser get even angrier at you. So very often kids who are in that situation will shut down because any kind of reaction could trigger a more violent reaction from the abuser.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she just sat there could have just been she was paralyzed with fear.
Well, I saw an interview actually with the mom of the girl who filmed this whole thing, and first off, the girl who filmed it is being charged as well now. She's being given a $1,000 fine.
For what?
For interference or something of that nature, which is ridiculous.
That is
right?
ridiculous. She has a right to, and
I
think
agree.
the Supreme Court has weighed in. We have the right to film police officers in public.
I agree, and I think that one's going to get slapped down. But basically, the mom of the girl who filmed it said that her daughter described the situation to her that the girl that basically had her cell phone out and the teacher was trying to kick her out of the class, and she refused to leave. And then the teacher called in this security officer, this police officer, campus police officer, and that's when the whole thing happened. So all of this because the girl refused to get out of her seat because she had a cell phone.
He could have said to her, "Sweetie, get up.
Yeah.
Get up. You're going to make it worse. You're going to be suspended. Get up."
Yeah.
And eventually, anyway, I don't want to.
But this is a situation, and I say this to teacher that teacher escalated the situation and created this situation. When the kid says they're not going to leave, and I've had kids like this. I've had kids that I wanted to kick out, and I've had to call security. And there is a certain point where you say, this isn't worth it. And these people, these adults, didn't reach that level. They escalated this thing and made
They went 0 to 60 and nothing flat.
Here's the thing, though. Other people were less surprised by what this officer would do by behaving so aggressively because school discipline and the criminal justice system have already been intertwined in a phenomenon that civil rights advocates call the school-to-prison pipeline. And the first thing this article talks about is having police officers on campus and how that has actually taken things that used to be just sort of school-related discipline issues and turned them into criminal activity. Okay? So in the past, a kid who, refused to sit down or refused to leave the classroom, would get a detention or you'd call their parents or deal with something like that. Now they're getting a citation. They're going in front of a judge. They're getting a criminal record. Some of them are ending up in juvenile hall. And so they're interfacing in our criminal justice system at a much younger age over issues that used to be considered sort of something that the school would deal with.
Right.
Now, I was a former school board member, and we had police officers on our middle school and high school campuses in the Colton School District while I was on the city council.
That was
or
really
on the school board.
That was really as in a response to kids having weapons on campus, wasn't it?
And here's what's interesting is that when that all started was during an era when gangs were very prevalent on our school campuses, and we were having instances of violence. And we had several shootings at the high school. We had, it was not uncommon to find kids carrying knives or other weapons. And so that's what these officers were primarily there for. But, those incidences are still, relatively rare. So to have an officer sitting around day after day after day waiting for those rare incidences is a bad use of their time. So what do you end up doing? Well, you end up having them do a whole bunch of other things, and that's where you end up with all these low-level things becoming criminal activity, and it's an interesting thing. And the school districts were paying a lot of money. The cities were paying a lot of money.
Cops are expensive.
To have these officers there. And a lot of school districts that have their own sort of security personnel, not police officers, have worked harder and harder to upgrade those security personnel to make them quasi-officers, to get them as close as possible, to actually have them go through the same certification that police officers go through, maybe not to carry a handgun, but to carry other types of less lethal weapons, to have pepper spray, to have batons, to have a variety of other things. And, that whole thing has been escalated in an attempt to keep our kids safe. But in reality, what's happened is that a whole bunch of kids that would have been dealt in a less harsh way have been sort of pushed into the criminal justice system. And that's been just shocking. And it's primarily, and I hate to say it like this, poor kids of color.
Yes.
Those are the schools that are most likely to have these situations happen.
So the current state of school discipline developed across, like you said, starting out with the gangs. This is late 80s all the way through the 90s to the early 2000s when crime was much higher.
Yep.
And they've remained. But this article then kind of maps out kind of what's going on. And you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it started off, we had these zero tolerance policies, and we've seen the stories, Aaron, of the crazy, ridiculous abuses of the zero tolerance policies, where the kid made a gun with their fingers.
Or a Pop-Tart.
And they end up getting suspended, or, the cops come in and put handcuffs on a kid.
Because of a Pop-Tart.
Because of a Pop-Tart.
That actually happened.
I know. And so, this is again, the criminalization of sort of what we would have thought in the past as sort of routine kid behavior.
Right. And a squirt gun is not a lethal weapon. People have said no guns, and I've seen squirt guns in those ranks. There's no way you're going to be killed by a squirt gun.
Yeah.
Unless there's acid in it.
Yeah.
And given that they're plastic, that probably wouldn't work anyway.
So what we're doing now is we're asking the question, what can we do instead, right? And we're trying to sort of retrain teachers and administrators to stop thinking about these things as criminal activity and begin thinking about them and dealing with them as a learning opportunity. When a kid does something silly, kid-like, instead of suspending them, instead of giving them a citation where they have to go in front of a judge, we're talking about having like a juvenile type,
youth courts,
like a youth court where the kids have to sit down in front of other kids, talk about what they did, and then we give them solutions and ideas about what they can do, and they have to do something to make up for what they did. So let's say they stole something from another kid. Do they have to?
That's really for drug offenses. So let's say they had a bag of weed at school.
Yeah, but we wouldn't in my middle school. We wouldn't just use it for a drug offense. If you had a kid who was bullying another kid, we might put them into some sort of intervention program. They're going to have to make amends to the kid that they were bullying.
Right.
This is the kind of thing. So it's not just for drugs, but drugs is definitely another issue. I mean, we've had drug instances at my middle school, and it's frustrating, especially because the kids get such mixed messages now, about drugs. It used to be that the clear message was just say no, and if a kid was caught with drugs, it was definitely handled like a criminal justice situation. But since California has gone to this medical marijuana thing,
well, in Colorado and Washington have
so,
made it legal.
Yeah, so kids are aware of this. That the attitude of the kids now is, well, this is an okay thing, and because it seems like there's just a lot more of it out there, now it's much more likely to sort of be a slap on the wrist. And I'm not sure what the right thing is. I mean, I'll be honest. This is where there's a lot of ambiguity and challenges for us as teachers and the administrators because, you feel conflicted. How do you deal with these situations?
So when a school allows a student resource officer, and this is a police on campus, to arrest a student, or less drastically and more commonly refers a student to law enforcement or juvenile court as a form of discipline, they're turning that student over to the juvenile justice system. That makes it much easier for a student to get a juvenile record. So even if punishment for a first offense is light, punishment for a second offense is likely to be much harsher. This happens at way more schools with officers. A report from the Justice Policy Institute found that even controlling for a school district's poverty level, schools with officers had 5 times as many arrests for quote-unquote disorderly conduct as schools without them. This isn't something that the juvenile court system is calling for. Quite the opposite. The chief judge of the juvenile court in Clayton County, Georgia, has become an outspoken opponent of public schools and of police in schools and the school to prison pipeline after placing cops on school grounds resulted in 11 times as many students getting sent to juvenile court. He told Congress at a 2012 hearing that the prosecutor's attention was taken from the most difficult evidentiary and scary cases, burglary, robbery, car thefts, aggravated assault with weapons, to prosecuting kids that are not scary but made an adult mad.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I've actually worked with some of these kids who've gone through these situations outside of the school setting. A few years ago, you may remember I spent my summer helping to run a park that had been closed down.
Yes.
And I organized volunteers, and we ran the park. And I had I was shocked at how many kids came up to me because they were required by the courts to do community service hours, and they wanted to know if they could be volunteers at the park to get their hours in. And so I had kids who were coming around, and I would have them helping to clean up the park, and I would sign off for their hours. They were all African-American males, and I got to talk to them about some of the things that got them into trouble. And, and their first offenses were often small things at the school. Maybe they got into a fight or something like that. And kids get into fights in school.
And I'm going to stop you right there because we have to take a break, but we will continue this conversation.
Yeah.
It is 6:32. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5, and we'll be right back.
KCAA.
California headline news: the San Ramon area continues to shake, with dozens of earthquakes continuing to rattle residents there, a swarm that will likely continue.
These events of magnitudes between 3 and 4, maybe up to a 4.5 or so, will continue for a couple more weeks. We think there's a very low probability of earthquakes larger than the 4 to 4.5 range occurring on the Calaveras.
USGS researcher Roll Caven, a 3.1 early yesterday, the strongest of the more recent quakes. More than 20 small earthquakes yesterday alone, 430 since October 13th. A man riding his bike is crushed to death when a giant cargo container slid off a flatbed truck in Long Beach. The driver was passing the victim. Cargo hauling truck drivers are on strike in LA and Long Beach. Teamsters officials say their replacements are dangerous.
What we've got happening here is drivers who are paid by the load instead of by the hour. And so they're just having to drive faster and faster and cut corners.
Barbara Maynard with the Teamsters. Geico weather, showers likely in much of Northern California. Jeff Scott, California News.
Hey-ho, Bigfoot here. You know, mythical creature from the woods. Today I saw something I couldn't believe existed. The new Honda Pioneer 1000. Whoa, man, it's a beast with a best-in-class 999cc engine and the industry's only 6-speed, fully automatic dual-clutch transmission. This thing's real, it's big, and it's here. Check it out at pioneer1000.honda.com.
Pioneers are for drivers 16 years and older. For your safety, read the owner's manual. Wear a helmet and eye protection. Always wear your seatbelt and keep the side nets and doors closed.
When you cough all day, you forget what a miracle coughing is. Your cough soars out of your mouth at 50 miles an hour. Your cough is faster than a greyhound and nearly twice as fast as the fastest man on earth. So when your husband spends all night coughing, remember what an amazing world you live in.
Or else, try Robitussin 12-Hour. It soothes and delivers fast, powerful cough relief for up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12-Hour, because it's never just a cough. Use as directed.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Riverside, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between Pierce Street and Green River Road. The 71 south is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. Moreno Valley stop-and-go traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus Avenue and University Avenue. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. In Chino, we have slow traffic on the 60 westbound between Central Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Archibald to the 57. The 210 west is slow in pockets from Carnelian to the 57. In Corona, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Temesco Canyon Road and Highway 91. In Norco, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between 2nd Street and Harupa Street. In the Cajon Pass, we have slow traffic on the 15 southbound between Oak Hill Road and Highway 138. And finally, in Paris, we have slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Nuevo Road and Harley Knox Boulevard. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
Everybody in beer world, listen up. This bud's for you. Or so we're told by the excitable executives of Anheuser-Busch InBev. It's the conglomerate maker of Budweiser and dozens of other brands, and it's thrilled to be buying out S.A.B. Miller's beer brands to create, quote, the first truly global beer company. I find that more chilling than thrilling, and sort of a silly thing to be publicizing. After all, even the suits at headquarters admit that the merger of the world's two largest brewers is being driven by their own poor sales, which have gone flat as us quaffers switch to small, local, and better craft beers. The macro brands are now in decline, reports a trade publication, because customers, especially young ones, seek more choices, richer flavors, and the cachet of trying unique brews created by independent artisans. So beer drinkers are saying local, but big beer is going global. Genius. This consolidation has nothing to do with satisfying customers, however, and everything to do with amassing corporate power to browbeat distributors and retailers. With 70% of U.S. sales under one roof, the Anheuser empire would have the monopoly clout to force bars, convenience stores, etc. to deny shelf space to the little guys. If you're not on the shelf, you're in the ditch, empowering the bully to give beer drinkers a choice between Bud and Budweiser. This is Jim Hightower saying, but even if our wimpy antitrust regulators let this deal go down, I don't think it'll work out that way. In my travels, even to small cities like Ithaca, Des Moines, and San Mateo, there's a rebellious, savvy, and tenacious good beer community that will stay loyal to the diversity of local brews and defeat the best-laid plans of the monopolists. To join the rebellion, go to brewersassociation.org.
Miss something today, yesterday, last week? Check out our podcasts at www.kcaaradio.com. We leave no listener behind.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. Got Brandon McCormick in the booth playing the happy music. So back to our discussion about this classroom to prison pipeline.
Yeah. When we left, I was mentioning that I have dealt with students who have been pushed into this system, and the court has given them community service hours. And I was trying to explain sort of what the process was and how that happened. And it usually started off with something small at school, something like a fight or something like that would then get them in front of a judge. And then something else would come along down the road that would then escalate it. And now all of a sudden they've got a parole officer and they've got to do community service hours, and they're maybe actually doing some time in juvenile hall and things like that. And one kid really sticks out in my mind where he lived. He had to walk to school. He was within the walking boundaries, and he walked through two different gang areas. And while he was middle school, he was not officially in a gang yet, but he was definitely leaning towards affiliating with one of those two gangs. And I'm not sure if he was doing that just for his protection, whether it was a rational choice, or whether this is just something that he thought was good. And it's hard to judge for kids at that age, what's their motivation. But what had happened was he his second offense, the one that got him in juvenile hall and got him the hours, was he was carrying rocks with him, and he got in trouble for throwing rocks at people. And after talking with him, it was because it was from this other gang, and this was how he was defending himself. And he rationalized it was at least he wasn't carrying a gun or a knife. And so he's trying to protect himself, and in his world, that's what you have to do. and it ends up being the event that gets him into the juvenile justice system and heading down this path. A kid comes from a broken home. Both of his parents are sort of out of the picture. Mom's kind of around, but he was...
Does he live with grandma?
He was actually living with an aunt, but the aunt who I met seemed very sort of disengaged and didn't often know where he was or what he was up to. And so, this is a situation that some of these kids find themselves in, and the system is kind of rigged in a way where these rules and punishments apply sort of regardless of what your situation is, without really taking into consideration what might be best for this individual kid. And this kid probably could have really benefited from some counseling and some other stuff, to help him to deal with the issues he faced every day.
My guess is that people affiliate with gangs for a lot of different things. One of which is a sense of family, and if you feel that you're alone in the world, becoming part of a gang can be empowering and strengthening. All of a sudden, you're not alone anymore.
Yeah.
And so I understand that draw. I mean, it's filling, as horrific as they are, they're filling a need, a perceived need for those kids, and honestly, probably a real need for those kids as far as the interpersonal connections and the relationships. They come at a tremendous cost.
Yeah.
And often the cost of their lives or their freedom. But I understand how a child can be drawn into that life.
Yeah. And along the same lines, that same kid and the group of kids he was with, and these are the ones that had to do community service hours and were, quote-unquote, volunteering for me at the park. Later that summer at the park, they stole from me. They consciously distracted. One kid distracted me while another kid went into the pantry area where I had bought a bunch of snacks for the park, and they stole a whole bunch of the snacks. And when I realized and asked them about it, of course, they lied. And then later, as I left the park that afternoon, I looped around the block, and as I came back around the block, I found them standing out in front eating all the snacks. And and they were caught red-handed, but I didn't call the police or anything like that. I retrieved what I could, lectured them about stealing and not being honest about it, and I explained to them the snacks were for the kids. They were going to get the snacks.
Right.
They're not supposed to steal them. And it was an awkward situation, but we've got to learn how to deal with these things in a better way.
But kids have been doing that kind of knuckleheaded stuff for forever.
Yeah.
I mean, to act like that this is somehow new and different and escalate it. You didn't escalate it, but had you escalate, you could call the cops for theft and all, which would have been a horrific overreaction.
Yeah.
Not that what they did was okay, but there has to be an appropriate response to that kind of behavior.
Now, what I did do was I said that I wasn't going to allow them to do their community service hours with me. For that point, we were close to the end of the summer. At that point,
and that is a rational response.
Yeah. Now, what I didn't do, and I should have done, is I should have called the mother, which I had not done, and explained to her what had happened, because she came down a couple days later upset because he didn't get the last couple days of his community service in.
Did you tell her at that point?
I did.
And what did she say?
Well, it was an interesting conversation. She was at that point really wanting to defend her child and was upset because he didn't have the community service hours that he needed, and and she thought she'd had it covered, and so she was frustrated with me, and so and I got that, and I felt bad that I hadn't reached out to her immediately, which I should have, but it didn't happen that way. But these are the kinds of things that kids are dealing with, and the system is not working right.
Well, and we've all heard stories about the kindergartner who steals a kiss from another kindergartner, and then they bust the kid for sexual harassment or sexual assault or something. They're 5. At 5, you don't have any judgment. There's no ability to understand what sexual harassment is.
Yeah.
You just tell Johnny that he can't kiss Susie.
Yeah.
That's but this knee-jerk, no tolerance, ridiculous overreaction to things has gotten out of hand.
Yeah. Well, now the latest thing, and this is actually probably the biggest piece of this puzzle, is that when kids get in trouble in school, the number one issue that they get slammed with is defiance. Okay? And we've actually had an overreaction to defiance to the point where kids are getting suspended so that they're not even coming to school. And
in some cases, that's what they're gunning for.
I know. And so the number of days out of school has increased dramatically. And so school districts have now basically said they don't want us issuing suspensions at all for defiance. And so that number of suspensions is dropping dramatically. But the question is, what are we doing instead? And I don't know that we've come up with a really good answer for that. And that's where things really get dicey, because while you can't just do no discipline, there's got to be some consequence, some sort of alternative. And I say discipline. It doesn't have to be discipline. It needs to be something that redirects the kid, that addresses the issue. And that doesn't always have to be something that's punitive.
So some schools are exploring restorative justice programs, which focus on forming relationships between teachers, students, and administrators, and giving students an opportunity to resolve problems by talking about them. The Oakland School District has been testing this approach for 10 years and recently decided to expand it district-wide after schools using restorative justice reported their suspension rates were cut in half.
Yeah.
And so I know that the Rialto District has talked about restorative justice.
Yeah, and we've been talking about doing that at Frisbee at my school. My principal's been sort of a leader in that discussion. We've also put in a positive discipline model where the kids are getting rewards for doing good things. And
right,
so
the carrot instead of the stick.
Yeah, so our campus security guards have a device on them that they can basically, give kids credits or little points for doing good stuff, and they just scan the student ID card, and and they've got, they're able to credit them. And teachers can do that as well. And it's a fairly new system.
How's it working?
So far, so good. I need some more training on it. I'll be honest with you. I have my own positive discipline program in my classroom, so to add another piece in that's school wide is new for me.
Yep. Well, your kids have a lot of fun in your class too.
We do.
I mean, they work hard, but they also have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I do that on purpose.
So it is 6:46. It's time for another break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We've got Brandon McCormick in the booth. We are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
Where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
It's Halloween, and the Suavecitas Car Club turns into Trunk or Treat. For one night and one night only, join KCAA Radio and the Suavecitas Sunday Squad for the second annual Trunk or Treat, Sunday, November 1st at the Carousel Mall from 5 to 9 p.m. It's an extra day of trick-or-treating for the kids in a safe environment. All car clubs are invited to bring candy and to participate in the car decorating contest with awards going to the best decorated cars. Come dressed in your favorite costume. There'll be lots of fun and a costume contest for all age groups. Tell your friends to make plans for the second annual Trunk or Treat at the Carousel Mall, Sunday, November 1st. Don't miss it from 5 to 9 p.m. Sponsored in part by KCAA 1050 AM and now 106.5 FM.
Here's your Money Minute with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you follow the markets, you've probably been getting seasick lately. But what if I told you that market volatility can be a good thing? If you're a bargain hunter, this is your coupon. So keep your shopping list handy. If you're a long-term investor with plenty of time before retirement, the money going into your 401k each month will buy more shares when the markets are down. And if you have a good financial plan, you can relax while others worry, because that plan will carry you beyond today's headlines. Of course, you should always consider professional guidance before making any financial decisions. That's your Money Minute. I'm Mo Ansari.
For more tips on investing during market volatility and other investment topics, listen to Market Wrap weekdays at 5 p.m. on this station. For a free consultation with Mo Ansari, call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Your application looks great, but I'm not seeing any marketing experience.
The ad said mechanic needed.
Right, but I need a mechanic/marketing wizard. What do you know about reputation management?
Nothing.
Search engine optimization?
Is that under the hood?
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. We can help with any digital marketing solution from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about. Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
Don't tell me technicals do not matter. Of course they matter. Let your winners run, cut your losers quickly. Being hyperactive is just as bad as being a Holden Hoper. Middle of the road is the answer, and that's what you need to do.
It's helpful financial food for thought on your drive home with a host who tells it like it is. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Like to spend a few days in another world?
Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Happy, 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 happy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Brandon McCormick in the booth picking a happy song. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. And China has a real problem on their hands. Thanks to the one-child policy and a cultural preference for boys, males outnumber females in China by about 117 boys for every 100 girls. And by 2020, the nation is predicted to have about 30 million bachelors. What to do? An economics professor at Zhejiang University of Finance and Economics has recently suggested that men be allowed to marry each other or to share wives. The latter suggestion sparked an uproar that Xi, the professor, that Xi removed his original blog post. Such an uproar that he removed his original blog post about it. He's reasoning for his polyandry proposal. Rich men have the advantage over poor men in terms of being able to find a wife. So men who aren't as well off should be allowed to pool their resources and share a woman, as if a woman is something to purchase. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting to me about this, I mean, anybody could see this coming, right? And anybody could see this coming based on that one-child policy and the preference for boys in Chinese culture. But what he didn't suggest, which is a far more rational approach, is importing women. Bringing women in from Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, anywhere else.
Yeah.
But we tend to think of racism as a typically American thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
That a lot of pretty much everybody is racist against somebody else.
Yeah.
As a dominant culture versus a not dominant culture. Yeah. And instead of saying, having some sort of incentive to bring women in from other countries, I mean, India, Pakistan, all over Asia, and they have said that they want poly. He's making the suggestion that polyandry would be better.
Yeah, and while 117 versus 100 doesn't sound like a lot when you're talking small numbers,
China's got 1.5 billion people, right?
When you get up there to the big numbers, right? I
Yes.
mean, now this is significant numbers, and so 30 million more guys basically than girls, and primarily it sounds like these are going to be the poor guys. Right, so at the bottom of society, you've got these guys who don't have much wealth. They can't find a girlfriend, can't find a wife, and some antisocial behaviors may begin to develop because of that.
I'm sure prostitution's already an issue there.
Well,
it would have to be.
It is, and AIDS has been a big issue in China, in part because of the prostitution, right? And so that's been an issue. This gentleman's blog also talks about the possibility of an increase in rape and other types of sex crimes. So this is no small problem. I like your idea though of opening the borders for China and letting women come in, making that something that's
incentivizing women to come into China, either to come to their universities where you're pulling the cream of the crop, or work for their companies, or that sort, something that would bring in good women into China. That to me seems like a more rational choice. I mean, you can't, saying that men should be able to marry men sounds interesting in theory, but if a man is not homosexual, that's not going to appeal to him. It's not going to solve his problem.
Exactly.
If he is, okay, fine, and that's a different issue, and they can figure that out in China. But if a man is not going to turn gay just because the government said he can marry a man.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that we're dealing with similar types of issues here in respect to more of a civil rights kind of a thing, where we've had obviously the legalization of gay marriage, and now people are saying that will expand to polyandry, I guess, or polygamous marriage.
Yes. Well, and of course there are in the United States, there are, especially in the Mountain West and in the Southwest, there are large numbers of people who've been living secretly in polygamous families.
Yeah, well, and that TV show Sister Wives has become quite popular and sort of normalized this idea of.
But then that's multiple women to one man. They have the opposite problem, which it's where you have multiple men to one woman, and that is not as culturally acceptable around the globe as women having, men having multiple wives.
Yeah.
Right. So it just blows me away that that this article did not say, let's bring in women from other places.
Yeah. No, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It speaks to a type of racism that exists. That these people have attitudes and beliefs about other cultures and other races that's just sort of unthinkable to them.
Right.
They wouldn't bring in someone from some other place.
Exactly. Vietnam or Thailand or anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Brandon, what do you think?
So I'm actually doing research on population right now, like actively right now.
Oh, that's great. So I'm interested in your opinion then.
So, I mean, just because of what you're talking about, got me curious about population. There is, I mean, when you said that there's 1.5 billion people in China, first of all, I'd like to say that's true. And that's what sparked up me researching it. And the one-child rule is for a population and all of that kind of stuff. And, but yeah, I don't know. But specifically towards the polygamy thing, I have really mixed feelings about it, and most of it has to deal with the fact that I personally wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are cultures, though. I mean, so in the United States, for example, this doesn't apply to China, but in the United States, the fundamentalists, LDS or Mormon cultures require it because they believe their faith tells them that if they don't practice plural marriage, then they won't reach the highest level of heaven. And so they have been in secret practicing polygamy for generations. There's large polygamous communities in the Mountain West and in the Southwest.
I mean, I would just like to understand the dynamic of that much better, just because I don't want to make any judgment based on what I don't understand.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. And you see Sister Wives and you see their struggles, but struggle exists in every relationship, every marriage, all of that. I couldn't live in that environment. I would not want to share you with anybody.
Yeah.
But that's not my faith. My faith doesn't tell me that I have to do that. So, thank goodness. So China has got to deal with this problem.
Yeah.
And they knew that the infants, that were being aborted. They knew that they were being killed. They knew that they were, people were choosing not to have girls. They knew this was coming.
Yep.
And I'm surprised that they're not ready for it.
Yeah, that's what's striking about this is that this was not like just something that just suddenly happened overnight. We're talking about decades of policy and watching the demographic shift, that nobody at any point along the line said, hey, this is going to create a real problem for us down the line when all these little baby boys grow up and become men.
Yes.
Because they're going to want wives and they have a life.
And it's a major public health issue if all these men are having to visit prostitutes.
Yeah.
I mean, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And so, China's going to have to deal with it. Well, we are completely out of time. It is 6:59. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Brandon McCormick in the booth. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. And have a great Wednesday, everybody.
I got my red dress on tonight. dancing in the dark in the pale moonlight. Done my hair up real big, beauty queen style. High heels off, I'm feeling alive. Oh my God, I feel it in the air, telephone wires above.
This is 1050 AM KCAA Loma Linda and 106.5 FM Yucaipa.
Business Radio. The Federal Reserve wraps up its two-day policy-setting meeting this afternoon. Traders are anxiously awaiting to hear what Fed Chair Janet Yellen will have to say. They're hoping to get some clues as to when the central bank will begin raising interest rates. Most economists are all but certain rates will remain at record lows at least until December. Apple with a blowout quarter, the tech giant posting profits and revenues that topped expectations. Apple selling 48 million iPhones in its latest quarter. That's 36% more than the same period last year. And Walgreens posting quarterly results that beat estimates both on the top and bottom lines. This comes as the drugstore giant has agreed to acquire Rite Aid for nearly $9.5 billion in cash. The merge will help it negotiate better deals from drug makers and other suppliers. Chris Maurer, CNBC.
In the time you've spent listening to this radio spot, you could have completed and submitted an entire expense report with a simple picture of your receipt. That's all it takes for you to get back to work and for your business to run more efficiently. To learn more and discover all the ways Concur helps manage your company's expenses, just go to tryconcur.com for a free test drive.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Chino, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between Central Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Grove Avenue to the 57. The 210 west is slow in pockets from Mountain to the 57. In Corona, there's an accident. The left lane is blocked on the 91 eastbound before Green River Road. Also in Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. East is slow and go from La Sierra to 14th. The 71 south is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. In Corona again, disabled vehicle, right lane is blocked on the 91 westbound approaching the I-15. In Miraloma, an accident. The right lane is blocked on the 15 after Limonite Avenue. In Moreno Valley, stop-and-go traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus Avenue and University Avenue. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. In Corona, there's slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Temesco Canyon Road and Highway 91. In Corona, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Hidden Valley Parkway and Harupa Street. The Cajon Pass has slow traffic on the 15 southbound between Oak Hill Road and Highway 138. Also, an accident has cleared on the 15 southbound at Oak Hill. In Paris, slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Nuevo Road and Van Buren Boulevard. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
With your Wednesday news, I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind. Much of the California coast faced the threat of some flooding yesterday because of a combination of high surf and unusually high tides, that according to the National Weather Service. The highest high tides this week expected today through Thursday during the mid-morning hours, with water levels expected to range from 7 to 7.5 feet during the highest tide each day. Now, coastal flood advisory will be in effect from 7-8 today to 2 p.m. Friday in Los Angeles County. Coastal flood advisories also in force in Ventura, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, San Diego, and Orange counties. Advisory issued for Orange County will expire at 9 o'clock Thursday night. And Riverside County poised to reach an all-time high number of West Nile virus cases this year. The county now has 104 confirmed and probable human cases and 5 West Nile-related deaths. That according to the Director of Disease Control for the Riverside County Department of Public Health. The county, which has about 2.3 million people, set a former record of 103 confirmed cases and 5 deaths in 2005. Riverside County's case numbers have grown from 80 confirmed and probable cases. That number already eclipsed total West Nile cases for all 5 previous years combined. In Temecula, a fire broke out early yesterday, causing about $20,000 worth of damage and left the store owner wondering what her next move's going to be. The fire broke out just before 4 a.m. at Nick's Knacks, one of multiple stores in a building along the 42,000 block of Main Street in the city's historic district. The cause of the fire has not yet been released. And that's your news. I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Contributor to the Fox Business Channel and Bloomberg Radio. In addition to this, he is a regular contributor to TheStreet.com and MarketWatch.com. Now he's live here on the Wall Street Business Network. Here is Bill Gunderson.
And welcome to the Wednesday, October 28th, live edition of the Best Stocks Now radio hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson, president of Gunderson Capital Management. Well, we have a very nice green day. Hey, this is a good Wednesday morning so far. We have the S&P 500 right now up 8.5 points, which puts it at 2,074. It is up 0.4%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 72 points this morning. The Dow is at 17,653. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ up 9 points, lagging a bit the S&P and the Dow. The NASDAQ is at 5,039 right now. Crude oil getting a little bit of a boost today, but still very weak at $43.69 per barrel. Gold is at $1,181 per ounce. The euro is at 1.106. I see more quantitative easing taking place, this time in Sweden. The 10-year bond, the 10-year yield, hey, you can get 2.04% today if you put your money in a U.S. Treasury and hold it for the next 10 years. Of course, what will inflation do to that 10-year bond? That's something to ask yourself. We have a whole bunch of earnings, which we'll get to here in a bit, including Apple, which seems to be the premier company reporting earnings. That's the one that's most anticipated. And they did report yesterday, and kind of a tepid response here today with the stock. But we'll get to this whole slew of earnings here in a bit.